Alright guys, in the spirit of building things with my cedar planks, I made another box, just like the worm bins that I showed you, but a hair bigger. And this one's designed to sit across the wheelbarrow, and it just has the same 1/4 inch mesh, and I'm going to use it to sift my compost. Now I know that this is labor intensive. I'd much rather build a roller or a drum style with a motor on it, you know, but this will get me by for now, because all I'm looking to do is sift stuff down so I can use it for potting soil. And this is actually some of my own batch. This is compost from my very own compost bin, so I'm proud of it. But all I've done is take a handful of compost that I had down here in the wheelbarrow. Now this stuff's already been sifted, but I'll show you just, I mean, for purpose. It had all sorts of chunks and bits and everything in it. Just throw it up top there, and then just work it back and forth. If it's less than a 1/4 inch, it falls through, and if it's not, it stays on top. Pretty simple. Now, this also works, it's good with the mesh with the hardware cloth, because you do have some clumps of dirt in here. You know, it's not that it's bad, it's just it's a chunk. And so, as you work it around on this screen like this, some of those harder clumps actually will break up, and that's fine. They're just clumps that are stuck together. But anyway, so I rub it around, and then I'm left with a nice handful of wood chips and material that can go back on the compost pile. Or in this case, I'm going to feed it to my worms and let them finish off. Here's my worm bin that I just set up tonight, and you can see already I threw the kitchen scraps in there, and these guys are coming up and they're already working on it. I've already got lots of worms up here. Look at them all. They're already up here eating like crazy. It wouldn't surprise me if I come back tomorrow evening after work and I find all the stuff just be consumed. Look at this. There's that's a whole mass of worms just sitting on the surface because the lights were out. They're just sitting up here just eating away. So that's absolutely incredible. That's beautiful. Look at this guy. Look at him. He's done burrowed him a tunnel. He's burrowing a tunnel down inside there. So anyway, I just thought this was cool. I mean, guys, this is simple and easy. I do have a gap in the backside, but that's because my roll of mesh was only 24 inches, and I built the box to be 36 or 30. I'm sorry. I should have made it 30 by 24, so I didn't have the gap. But the gap actually works well because I can reach my hand down through there and throw the compost back up on top. So anyway, it'll work for now. It's not a bad idea. It's not the best, but it'll sure work. Suppose I should have showed you guys what the sifted compost looks like, but it pretty much looks like heaven as far as soil is concerned. And this stuff, you know, I'm proud of it. I didn't work real hard for it, but I'm 150% better than I was at making compost this time last year. Last year I had my compost bin was just an open top compost bin. I was just throwing in, you know, grass and leaves and stuff, and you know, some scraps when I remember. But last summer it got so blasted hot down here that I couldn't keep the thing moist enough to even cook. I mean, it just sat out in full sun, and honestly, all summer long, it did not break down at all. And I'd come out maybe once a month whenever I got a chance or remembered to, and I'd hose the thing down real good, and you come out a couple days later, and yeah, the inside would be good and hot, but it would just dry out so quick that it wouldn't break down. And what I've done now, as I showed in a different video, I built my compost bins and I put my water barrels on top. Yeah, it serves multiple purposes. That gets my water barrel, you know, up in the air, so I've got gravity flow off of it. But it also shades the compost bins from the direct sun. And if I need to wet down the compost, I just run a hose right down from the drain above it and sprinkle it down. So it's just a world of difference. Just amazing how much better it is. And so I'm actually going to use this here for potting soil, for starting my seedlings. I've been working on, you know, this flat here. That's actually just pure peat moss, straight from the bag. And the peat moss is great, but it needs a little something added to it because it's too absorbent by itself. It's too much. So we're going to thin it out a little bit. We're going to cut it a little bit with this good compost here, and that'll give it some nutrients too to help start those seedlings.